Welcome to a virtual workshop and information session on priority registration. This series of videos includes information for all students in the neuroscience and cognitive science major or neuroscience major. We designed this series to assist students of all levels, whether you are brand new to the program or are nearing graduation. As you watch the videos, please take note of areas that may answer your immediate questions about summer or fall enrollment so we can save limited advisor time for highly complex cases. If your question is not answered through this series of videos, please email neuroadvising@arizona.edu with specific questions. For instance, rather than saying, "I need to know what to take," a question like, "I don't see any available courses for my emphasis," helps us to better understand your need and we can respond much faster. Until the department is at full advising staff again, we need your cooperation. The series of videos is done in segments so that you can focus on the content that you need most. The videos consist of an introduction to the priority registration process and how to prepare for fall or summer registration, including prerequisites and advanced standing information, an overview of the neuroscience and cognitive science major or the neuroscience major curriculum, advisement reports and course guides for tracking progress toward degree, the process for transferring credit if you have or plan to take classes at another school for U of A transfer, pre-medicine coursework and pre-health advising, and lastly, your role in the enrollment process. While we're in the introductory video for this series, let's go ahead and talk about some of the enrollment essentials that are necessary for all students to know about. The first is when to register. The registrar's office loaded all of your records with an enrollment appointment for fall and summer of 2026. You can find this in the enrollment section of the UAccess Student Center under Add, Drop, Swap Classes, and you'll be able to see when your registration date is scheduled. Shopping carts for courses are open now for all students, so you are able to search for classes in the schedule of classes and start loading your shopping cart with classes that you believe may be a good option for the fall or the summer. The way that enrollment appointments are assigned are based on class standing and whether or not you are in some type of priority enrollment group. So for instance, based on class standing alone, first year students have usually completed less than 30 units of credit, not counting what's in progress, but actually have completed. To be considered sophomore, you have to have completed at least 30 credits. To be a junior, 60 credits, and seniors have completed at least 90 credits. Along with that, if you are an athlete, if you are military affiliated in ROTC, the Fostering Success Program, or the Honors College, you also have a different enrollment appointment based on that enrollment priority group. So for instance, you may be a first year student, however, you are an honors student. So if you're an honors first year student, you will be bumped up to the April 9th enrollment date rather than April 20th for first years that are non-honors. So your enrollment appointment, knowing when your enrollment appointment is important. Check UAccess to see when your first opportunity is to enroll for classes. Registration opens at 6 o'clock in the morning, Arizona time, on the day of your enrollment appointment. And actually for summer 2026, all students, regardless of class standing or student group, can start enrolling on April 6th at 12 a.m. Arizona time. To lay the foundation of the enrollment process, we've provided you sort of a priority registration checklist of sorts. 4 big steps are involved. First is checking your advisement report and major checklists to see where you are in your curriculum. You should be using checklists to keep track of courses you've completed and courses that you plan to take. And later on in this video series, we show you how to run an advisement report, what kind of information is in there, and how you will work with that advisement report and your degree checklist in order to create a list of courses that are potential for enrollment this term. So that's one part of the process. Another part of the process involves checking prerequisites for the classes that you plan to take and looking at the schedule of classes to look at what's offered. So you'll be able to, like for instance, let's say that you have to take your Physics 110 this fall, or your Physics 102 and 181 if you're in the online campus. You'll be able to check the schedule of classes, see when those classes are listed, what the days and times, locations are, and what the prerequisite is in order to enroll for that class. You'll be able to add courses to your shopping cart. And then if you have further questions about the fit of those classes for this semester, or if you have concerns that come up as you're loading your shopping cart, you can email specific questions to neuroadvising@arizona.edu. Another part of the process is to check for any notices and holds in your student account. There are going to be some holds that students have that are going to prevent them from enrolling for classes. For instance, if you have a balance that's past due in your account, the bursar's office will place a hold, and until you reconcile that balance, you will not be able to register. Campus Health also has a specific hold for students who need to meet immunization requirements. There may be a mandatory advising hold on your account, or if you're a first year student, supplying final transcript verification may be a hold. So always check for holds and reconcile what you can before the registration process opens up. Something that we are getting a lot of questions about right now pertains to advanced standing. So this is new, coming this fall of 2026. And it basically affects the students that are entering the program in the fall. So it doesn't pertain to you specifically. It's not tied to your major. The advanced standing requirements are based on the course, not your major. So we know that some of the courses, the NROS courses, the CGSC Cog Science courses, and the NSCS major courses now require advanced standing for students. So you may find that the course that you're trying to enroll for requires advanced standing, which of course you don't have because that's not part of your program. But if you find this to be a barrier to the classes that you need to take, email neuroadvising@arizona.edu to make an enrollment override request. We ask that you provide your name, your student ID number, if you're trying to enroll for the summer or the fall, which course it is, the section number, and let us know that you need an advanced standing override. Okay. Something else to note is that Cognitive Science 321 has moved to the spring 2027 term. So if you were searching for that class initially and now no longer see it, it's because that course has been moved. If you're planning to graduate in the fall of 2026 and you need that class, please tell us. We can work with you to resolve that. Something else to consider as essential to registration is to be mindful of the class status. So for instance, in our example here, we're looking at Anthropology 160A1, which is a general education course, and we're seeing that it's open with requirements. What that means is that you will likely have to have completed a prerequisite before enrolling, or you need to have a certain class standing or some other requirement in order to be eligible for enrollment. So if the class is open, that little lock with the green open, that indicates that the course is open and you should be able to enroll. If the course is locked or closed, it indicates that the course has filled up and no longer has any available seats. You could choose another class, or if a wait list is provided, you can try to get on the wait list. The wait list, basically the course is full and technically closed, but what will happen is if students drop and there are additional spots that become available, then your name will move up the wait list until you're eligible to enroll, to be enrolled in the class. So please realize that if you are encountering waitlist, it's probably a good practice to try to find an alternative course in the event that a seat does not become available to allow you to be enrolled. We get asked a lot about psych or psych science classes for neuroscience majors. There are plenty of emphasis options that have psychology classes that are allowed. And unfortunately, until priority registration is over, some of those courses may not be open to us. There are some that are, however, and they're listed here. So for instance, Psych 230, sections 1 and 2 will open for neuroscience and cognitive science students as early as April 6th. However, if you're trying to get into Psych 300, section 1 or 2, you will have to wait until April 13th to enroll for those sections. Psych 340 has an in-person section and a fully online section for main campus students. And if you're trying to get into the main campus section 1, the in-person, that opens up on April 13th. However, the online section 102 will open on April 6th. Psych 478, Section 1, April 13th, and Psychological Sciences, you can see the 407 and 404 will open on April 6th. So pay attention to this list. If there are sections of these courses that you want to take, you can jump in on the enrollment at the time that is listed here. Another enrollment essential, if you're searching for general education courses, for example, and there are so many that you can choose from, it doesn't make sense to try to search by course. Sometimes it helps to search by area. So for example, if you're looking for general education courses, like for instance in this example, the Exploring Perspectives Artist, we are trying to get a list of all of the artist classes that would fit that category and narrow it down so we can search through those. In these cases, you can use advanced filters to search for those gen eds and even for honors courses as well. Another thing to note is that during the fall, and apologies for it says spring 26, it should be fall 26, we have a regular academic session that runs from August 23rd through December the 9th. But there are also 7-week courses. Some courses are more compacted and all of the content is squeezed into a 7-week time frame, either 7-week 1 from August 24th through October 14th, or 7-week 2, which starts October 15th and runs through December 9th. So pay attention to the sessions and the start and end dates so that you have a balanced schedule and aren't trying to load up too many classes in 7-week 1 or 7-week 2.